gonna go over 5 typical spend ranges and what tactics you should focus on in each of these 5 spend ranges. Budget level. So again, who's spending 0 to 1,000? Okay, so most of us. Who's spending 1 to 3,000? Okay, all right, cool. Who's spending 3 to 5,000? Okay, great. 5 to 10, 10 to 20. All right, cool. I just gauge to understand like how much time we need to spend on each one. I want to make sure it's highly relevant. So this one right here is for people spending 0 to $1,000. Let's get into the tactics. Prerequisites, you have to have a website that doesn't suck. It needs a homepage, social proof. If you ever know what social proof is, it's like reviews. Video testimonials are gonna be better than text. Like now everyone has text, so like if we can get some video, that's gonna be better. A live chat or AI chatbot. I've been loving Go High Level's AI chatbot. It's amazing, like truly amazing. People don't even know they're talking to an AI. Feeds the lead right into the CRM. Service pages, yeah. Like people say like, should you have a list of services on your homepage? Yeah, you should have a list of your services on the homepage. Like make sure they know what you guys do. Great, perfect. Contact page, and it needs to look good. Don't listen to the marketers that say it's all about the copy. Design doesn't matter. Totally wrong. It matters. Like when we land on like we're about to work with a company and we land on their page, if their website looks like shit, we lose confidence in the business. All right, cool. Next thing, we have to commit that we're not gonna move on to spending more on marketing until we have the gross profit that covers $1,000 a month. Only at that point can we move to the next tier. I think that's a problem a lot of other people do, is they want to skip the line, start spending $3,000 a month, they get burned, and they go back to 0. Let's just do 0 to 1,000. Once we get $1,000 in gross margin that can 100% be tied back to these activities, then we can move on. And you have to have a CRM. So like Go High Level, HubSpot, Growably, whatever it is, there's a million CRMs out there. Just make sure you're using it. CRM is Customer Relationship Manager, but basically like, how do we get leads? How do we nurture leads? What is the pipelines, etc. So for budget level number 1, we're going to be going over 6 tactics. The first one is local SEO. Second one is networking. These are our options. Local SEO and a Google business profile, if you're spending $0, will make you money. You need to have location pages on your site that show what city you go after, IT support in Chicago, IT support in city. Your Google business profile needs to be set up. It needs to be computer support and services as your primary. Google Keyword Planner, what keywords should I go after? Free, Google Keyword Planner. Those are the keywords you should go after. Rank Math is a completely free plugin. It will literally tell you, I want to rank for IT services in Lakeland. This is what you should do to that page to make sure you're in the best situation you can be to rank for that keyword. Super easy. Like people try to make SEO this like mystified craziness, but it's like, no, it's like, okay, this keyword we're going after, let's make sure the page is like optimized for that and like that it doesn't suck. All right, cool. So the KPI for this one is we're gonna create or improve a new page on our website every week, every single week. And we're going to receive 2 new 5-star reviews every month. That's our KPI. It could be a new location page, it could be a new service page, it can be a new industry page, it can be like, hey, we're doing a dealership special, like just new content on your website or updating. So like if we all look at our website right now, we're going to be unhappy with 90% of the pages. And so like, okay, cool. I know every week, like I'm going to either add a new page because I needed to get that dealership page, but it's not up there. I've been thinking about it. It's not up there. Or super unhappy with the healthcare page because it's from 2015. So I'm going to update it with like a video of me talking about how we treat these customers and some new updated information and make sure we use Rank Math to optimize it for SEO. Like, because once we get in a culture of getting in our website and making changes often, it's amazing how fast these things can improve. We're going over 6 tactics in the 0 to 1,000. We can only choose 3. You can do 6, but you're not going to win. Just do 3. Next up, this is the least exciting one, but it's an important one, networking. All right. So if this is the one we're going to do, we're going to do 2 networking events per week. Before you do that, read How to Win Friends and Influence People. Chamber of Commerce, pretty good. BNI, pretty good. Rotary, very good. If y'all have a Rotary near you, join Rotary. Just make sure you actually have a heart for philanthropy. Rotary is where the real hotshots are, in my market at least, because they're usually people who like are already successful and they're trying to give back. So I know it's not exciting, which means you don't have to pick it, but if you like talking to people, it's a good one to pick. I've closed a lot of deals off networking. So we've covered local SEO, networking. If you want to go deeper, don't worry, the guides, like whichever ones you choose, there's a guide on it that is going to be sent to you so you can really go deep. All right, next up, cold calling. Ooh, cold calling, it's dead. It doesn't work. It's not dead, totally works. Works like a charm, still does, probably will for a long time. And it costs very little. It costs your soul, but whatever, to make money, more of it. So you want to use Contact Science or Go High Level or some type of, again, that CRM to manage, like, okay, who am I calling? Have I called it before? Are they a lead or are they still cold? You typically want to stay vertical specific, like, okay, I'm calling this vertical so I can really talk their language. You want to create a vertical specific list. Don't worry, in the guide, it's like, how do I build a list? There's a guide on how to build a list that you're going to get. You can have ChatGPT help you write the scripts. Bro, ChatGPT is so good at script writing now. Like, it's so good at emails, so good at script writing. Like, we've stopped including blogs at MSP Camp because it's like pre-made blogs, no value anymore. ChatGPT all day. And I just tell members, I'm like, oh, you want blog? Yeah, just go to ChatGPT. Like, if it's not for SEO, ChatGPT all day. If it's for SEO, it's a different conversation. All right, moving on. We're going to begin a call campaign. KPI, 20 calls a day. Sorry, let's do it. It'll take an hour. Just knock it out. I promise you, if we do 20 calls a day, this is one of your 3, you will start setting appointments. May not be the first month because you're going to suck at first, but probably within the first quarter. Hey, if we get one person to talk to a day, great. Next tactic, email marketing, not cold emailing. Very different. We're going to talk about cold email. It's not in the 0 to 1,000 range, trust me. All right, moving on. Informative weekly emails. It can be tech tips, technology happenings, free, high-value advice on their IT budgeting. You know, get a content subscription like Paul Green's or ours or IT Rockstars or Tech Tribe and just send out an ebook once a week because you got all this content you can use. Like, that's where this type of stuff works great. All right, cool. Send a monthly newsletter. That is actually helpful. It's not a sales tool. Like, don't send a newsletter just to try and sell something. That's how you have people not clicking your newsletter. Cool. Lead scoring. Everybody should have lead scoring setting up in their CRM. Super easy. If somebody opens an email, they get some points. If someone clicks an email, they get more points. If they visited your website, they get more points. Eventually, you have a CRM full of people with a lot of points that you can call. Lead scoring seems complicated until you watch like a 5-minute video on it, and then it's not. Almost any CRM that you're using for like email marketing is going to have a lead scoring. And then you can usually set up an automation, like once they get to X, then pitch it to the salesperson, which might be you or whatever. Set up an easy and sustainable automation. So like we would literally set up like a 6-month weekly drip automation, 6 months. And if then something additional happened, we'll just include another email. So it's like they get the weekly email, and then we can also send like another email. It's all good. Someone gets 2 emails a week, it's fine. Sometimes I hear like, I don't want to send too many emails because people are going to unsubscribe. Every email you send, you're going to get an unsubscribe. So we have about 550 people that pay us on a monthly basis. Every single time I send an email out, not as of late, but usually, we didn't just get an unsubscribe, we got a cancel. So it might be someone that like, they're paying, they're like, I forgot about MSP Camp. Oh yeah, I need to cancel that, right? And they'll go in and cancel. That didn't slow me down for a minute sending email marketing. Not for a minute. Like I know when I click that button, someone's gonna cancel, but engaging my audience for them to buy additional services from them, to keep them more engaged, to keep their retention up, well worth it to get rid of people that I didn't really want in there anyway. That's what your unsubscribes are. You don't really want them in there anyway. All right, so if we're gonna choose this one as one of our 3, remember, we're only gonna choose 3. I know we wanna do all the things, but then we're not gonna do any of the things. So we're gonna choose 3 in this bracket. If we're 0 to 1,000, we're gonna choose 3. If this is one of yours, the KPI is we're gonna send out an email every single week. We're not gonna miss a single week, and we're gonna add 5 new contacts to our CRM. Not cold emails, somebody that we've met, or somebody that on LinkedIn said it's okay to email them, or whatever it might be. That's the KPI. So as long as we have like strict KPIs, what we need to do to hit it will just flow. We'll figure out how to get the 5 in. Door knocking, find local business parks. I was driving down the street, going to Office Depot where I didn't buy those prints. And like, there's a bunch of business parks, there's a bunch of businesses. I'm like, oh God, there's so many of these. Like we could just go like meet people and get business. Bring something of value, bring donuts. If you walk into a business with donuts, you think someone's gonna be mean to you? No, they're not gonna be mad if you bring donuts. So like bring something of value and then bring an offer. Bring something that's gonna matter other than like we do IT. Like what should that be? Everybody thinks to create an offer, we can just say a bunch of exciting things and we have an offer, but that's just not true. To create an offer that's actually compelling requires like a lot of hard work because it usually means operationally or we're sacrificing something. That's the only way to get a good offer. Here's a good example of that. I have a client in Toronto who has a $10 million copier company, huge copier company. They're getting in the managed services space. Their whole goal was, how do we get into the managed services space? And I'm like, you have to come up with a solid offer. You can throw all the tactics in the world at it, but if you don't have a really, really solid offer, your people are not really gonna move because moving to a new IT company is painful. So this is the offer they came up with. Real specific example from an MSP. You're gonna get 50% off for the first 6 months. So whatever the agreement is gonna be with us, first 6 months, 50% off. 2, we're gonna give you a $500,000 warranty. Again, for someone that's not IT related, they're like, okay, that sounds compelling. And then we're gonna secure your Microsoft 365 with backup, and then I made them make a video to explain what that means on the landing page. Because it's like, okay, that's like the least exciting aspect, but it is a lot of value. So just give me a 1-minute video. Like if you can give me a 1-minute video, we include that in the offer. Cool, that's what they're leading with. That's a good offer. Instead of saying like, oh, we do IT too, that's actually a pretty good offer in itself. It's like, okay, you can do both my stuff, but it's like, we can do IT too, and you're gonna get all of this stuff if you just set an appointment with us. So if we're gonna be door knocking, we need to bring an offer like, hey, we're gonna give you 3 months of IT services in a try before you buy situation. When I was at the MSP, I was constantly trying to do stuff like this, and I was constantly told no. And I was like, we're highly profitable, we have massive growth goals, give me some meat. Give me something I can give people. And the answer was almost always no, so I had to keep leaning on being a media company. All right, I'm the owner now. I get to call the shots. I had a prospect, actually a good friend, one of the first MSP Camp members actually. He had a website that was ranking pretty well in SEO. He was about to switch his whole website to MSP sites. I actually like MSP sites for startup MSPs. Not a multi-million-dollar MSP like he was, that he was about to destroy his domain authority in SEO by going to a template go high-level site. So I was like, hey man, like you should definitely not do that. Not because I'm trying to sell you, but because that's silly. Like you're gonna ruin like this value you have. He's like, I already paid $6,000. I was like, oh dang, you already paid $6,000? He's like, yeah. I was like, okay, cool. Well, your agreement with me is $3,000 a month. Let's just do it for 2 months, and then I'll start billing you the 3rd month. Do you think he immediately said yes? Of course he did. Of course he immediately said, he's like, oh, I get 2 months for free, which is gonna recap what I just paid to this company, so I don't feel bad about that, and you get paid like, easy. Now, if I tried to hardball him and say, no, we got to start right away, I probably wouldn't close the deal and he'd be in a worse spot. We're both winning. He's happier than ever, and he's going to be a client for many, many years. So I think we need to be a little more comfortable with big risks and have differentiators within our offer. So what are we going to do in the KPI on this? We're going to stop by 10 businesses a week with donuts or other gifts, like bourbon. Was it bourbon?
Yeah.
All right, get drunk with him. All right, moving on. Social media. Everybody, when we think of marketing, for some reason, we all just think of social media. It's like this weird thing that happens in businesses where it's like, oh, we got to start marketing. Like, let's post on our LinkedIn. It's like, that's one aspect, right? And it takes a long time and a lot of effort, which is why it can be only one of 3 if you decide to do social media. We should have company pages, but the true value is on our personal. So whether you're the owner or you have a salesperson, like that's where the value is. We're just not going to grow our company MSP page. I promise you. Like just, I mean, you should post on it because sometimes people do look. But like, just don't worry about that. Worry about your personal. Get content, tailor content, post in your personal thought leadership. Videos, carousels, and opinions, thought leadership on LinkedIn is where most of the value of social media is. That being said, Facebook can be valuable. We closed an $8,000 a month deal from the owner's Facebook because I was sharing our stuff on his Facebook. That prospect was like, oh, Tom, I didn't even know you did fill in the blank. So one positive externality of starting to market our business is all of a sudden, we start getting more referrals. It happens. There's 2 types of referrals. One is a referral from a client. That can be persuaded. There are ways you can get additional referrals, but for the most part, that's somewhat static. Then there's the second form of referral. That is from your network. That is almost always due to marketing. So if you're getting more referrals, if you've only grown by referrals, that's not necessarily a bad thing. If it's only referrals from clients, kind of potentially a bad thing, but if you're getting more and more referrals because you're marketing, that should be an ROI for marketing, and that should be a good thing. Does that make sense? Because all of a sudden you start posting things, videos of what you're doing, like no one outside of the MSP space really knows what an MSP is. But when you can start showing them, oh, a cable project that we just before and after. Okay, now I kind of get what you're doing. All right, tools like Publer or Go High Level are inexpensive and make this so much more sustainable. We love Go High Level. We've been going hard on it lately. And KPI for this, super easy, create and post 3 times per week. And then we have to add 10 new connections every week. It's funny, we have a social media management service where we post 3 times a week for our people. And if they don't let me post on their personal, I say don't sign up. And if they're not willing to add 10 connections a week, I say don't sign up. I was like, what are we going to do? We're going to post to your 80 people? What the hell is that going to do? But yeah, for the most part, if you're only comfortable with LinkedIn, just do LinkedIn. As long as you're adding those new connections that are relevant in your local area, that'll be great. This is such an important concept of social media. It's like, if the only thing we're posting is our business stuff or selling, it's never going to work. So like if you followed my personal LinkedIn, like what am I showing? I'm showing I just did a jiu-jitsu tournament. I'm showing I got a black eye and I'm the boss that shows up with a black eye, right? I'm showing some funny skit we did, not selling anything, right? And then maybe every like 7th post, I might have an offer. But for the most part, I'm just trying to get people to engage with me and I'm trying to engage with them. This is such a good example of why we're choosing 3, because when you only have 3 and you have to dedicate 10 hours a week to marketing, what you do is like, how can I make this more efficient? Then you find Taplios. Then you find AI tools. When you only have 3 things and 10 hours, you find all this extra shit to make your job better on those 3 things. So this is the exercise. It's completely up to you which 3, but you're gonna choose 3. And we're gonna write those down in the end of the activity. We're gonna choose 3 if we're in the 0 to 1,000 range. If we're higher than that, we're gonna choose 3 and we're gonna move on. If you're at 0 to 1,000, your job is now done. Now you just listen, pay attention, hopefully learn something, but your job is done. If you're at 0 to 1,000, you're not gonna add anything else that we talk about. You can learn about it and prepare to add, but that's it. Those are our only options. Moving on. So as a recap, local SEO, networking, cold calling, email marketing, not cold email, door knocking, and social media. Those are your only 6 options right now that you can tap into if you're at this budget. Cool. Next stage, $1,000 to $3,000 per month that we are now spending. Some prerequisites for this one. You can only target a single city. If you're at 1 to 3,000, don't even start thinking, I don't care what city you're in. Well, I mean, you guys are in a big city here, but like, people are like, well, I'm in a small city. It's like, it doesn't matter, one city. The only exception to this is if you serve a single niche. If you serve a single niche, you can branch out of a single city because you have a really defined target market, so your marketing is gonna be more effective. All right, cool. You have to find help. Because at this point, you've now gotten a return on 0 to 1,000 because you're doing like 3 of those 6 things and like they're effective. Cool, now you can just like get some help with those things because you've been doing it yourself for a while. But if we're gonna add anything else, then we just have to have help. Have to. So that's a prerequisite. Even if that's an intern for 10 hours a week, that's totally fine. You have to continue doing everything you've already been doing, and you do not move, just like there's a prerequisite for all of them, you do not move to a higher marketing spend until you've gotten a gross margin of MRR higher than this. Does that make sense? So what options do we have? We've got 4. We only got 4 on this one. Cold emailing. Never cold email from your primary domain. So like if you have a list, like you just got a list, never ever cold email that list from your primary domain. Like it's amazing how many people do that. I'm like, what are you doing? Because if a lot of people report it spam, like now you can have deliverability issues to like your clients. So you just need to get it like a separate domain, and that's what you'll use cold emailing for. Tools like Instantly make cold email easier, but it's still a time-intensive tactic, which is why it's not even available to us till we're spending $1,000 to $3,000 a month. And it has to be quality, which means like literally one-on-one cold emailing, like we're emailing like people in our market that we've done research on. That's a great way to do it, especially if it helps. So it's either quality or quantity, right? Obviously the quantity, you need to have a really good positioning email, but like you could totally send thousands of emails a month out and you're gonna be getting appointments. So we either need to spend hyper-personalized cold email or like a lot of cold email. Next up, retargeting advertising. Does anyone here do retargeting advertising? Okay, here's a quick thing. Everybody go to msp-camp.com or just mspcamp.com real quick. Don't worry, I'm not gonna sell you anything. So everybody, when you go to that site, click allow cookies, and then just like scroll for like a few seconds. And then now I get to bug you for the next month. So it's retargeting, yeah. Do I bug you? Okay. Retargeting advertising is basically that somebody has engaged with you in some way, and then you get to advertise to them. It's very simple. So typically how this is done in the B2B space is if somebody visits your website and then that person leaves, you can send ads to them on a lot of stuff. I typically do Facebook and Instagram. You can do it on Google. You can do it on LinkedIn. This is an inexpensive way to be all up in your prospect's business. I mean, I typically recommend Meta, so like Facebook and Instagram, and LinkedIn. Those are the 2 I usually do. Google actually used to do pretty good with the display ads, but like now it's like very few people actually go to those websites that have those display ads. So I haven't been doing them as much. But again, when I talk about cheat codes, business consumer so much easier. I've got clients, I got a friend, they own a meal prep company. They already had 2,000 followers on their Instagram. So part of their retargeting was just, hey, if they already follow the page, I just want them to see the ads. Their ads are absolutely crushing because they already had 2,000 people that were kind of interested in them. Now every single day, I get to go in front of those people and it costs me $10 a day. Cool. It's difficult for initial setup. I'm just going to be honest. Like, you're probably not going to do it yourself. I don't recommend it doing it yourself. Just get somebody to do it for you. Like, just get someone to set up conversion tracking, set up the pixel on your site, and then boom, all you have to do now is swap out the content. The best way to think of this is it's a digital billboard that someone has to drive by every single day. So that's just the best way to think about retargeting. It's a digital billboard. It's very hard to track attribution on a billboard, right? Like, if you have a big lawyer billboard, that lawyer doesn't really know how many conversions that billboard is doing. But guess what? He's still doing it because it's valuable. That's what retargeting is. Like, you're not going to see like, oh, I got 3 conversions from my retargeting ads, but your prospect and clients are constantly going to see you, and that has value. KPI for this is refresh content monthly. So a lot of people will start doing retargeting. They have the same ad for a year. And then on the cold emailing, KPI is 1 appointment per month. I think that's a solid KPI for that, because like, you're going to just keep trying to go quality or quantity until you start getting appointments. All right, last 2 on this one. We're already almost done with this one. We're going to start getting into some workshop stuff. Webinars. Don't even start a webinar until you have a spend of $1,000 to $3,000 a month. Why? Because you're going to have help. Don't do webinars until you have help. They're high value, but they also take time. Like, you got to get an expert to be on the webinar. You got to market the webinar. Like, it's pretty time intensive. It's an easy way to start building a prospect list. Like I said, like, just do a Microsoft Teams webinar. You want to start adding context to your CRM? Microsoft Teams webinar, Microsoft Outlook webinar, marketing webinar, whatever. You're going to start building your contact list of people that opted in and gave you their email address. Now you can keep emailing them. We found Microsoft 365 trainers on Upwork. Upwork's a wonderful place to find kind of specialists in different avenues. I don't recommend you guys creating the content for every webinar. Like, for instance, I probably spent 30 hours preparing this presentation. You don't want to do that every month. So just hire somebody that already has the knowledge and can just like put it together. All right, cool. In the emails, this is a key point. Don't worry, there's a guide. There's a webinar guide that goes through all of the points, but this is one thing you just like have to do. Is you have to use scarcity and or urgency. What we would do, and this crushed for people registering, even if you can't make it, sign up to receive the recording. Just add that line in there in bold. Like, that one line like doubled our registrations. Because for some reason we all want the recording we're never gonna fucking watch. Like, no one's gonna watch it. We all ask for it, no one uses it. But anyway, it's a good way to get an email list. Or you can use scarcity if it's like, hey, you have a solid offer you're trying to run and like you want your clients to be on this webinar. You might say, there will be no recording. So make sure you're there. Like, you can use scarcity, like there's not gonna be a recording. So like, make sure you're on the webinar. That's a good way to maybe have less registrations, but like a really high attendance rate. So you just need to decide which one you need to do. You need to be diligent in marketing these. You can't just like, hey, I'm doing a webinar. Like, you need to do on socials, update your retargeting ads if you're doing those. Like, make sure people know about it. Make sure your clients are invited. All right, cool. Last tip on this, to learn this the hard way. I was using Teams webinar, and Teams webinar shows how many people are in the room. And one time we did a webinar that like was embarrassing on the show up rate. I don't know why. And there was like 3 people in there, and like everybody knew there was 3 people in there. And I was like, man, this is like embarrassing. So just use a tool that doesn't show how many people are in the room. Because like a lot of times you're gonna have like 30, 40, 50 people at the webinar, but sometimes you're gonna have like 3. And like, that's embarrassing. So just like make sure it's hidden. And then you can have, and then you can have someone asking fake questions like, oh, great question, Jeffrey. Yeah, unfortunately, you're not always gonna get 100% attendance rate. So our KPI for this is easy. We're gonna hold a webinar each month. All right, next up, direct mail. In the world of AI and digital everything, putting things in people's hands means a lot. And I'm convinced it's only gonna mean more and more. So we spend a lot of time on physical stuff. Not only creating for our clients, but what we send out. So like, if somebody signs up, even for a free trial, I'm sending them a newsletter with like, welcome to Scout Plus. Here's everything you got. Like, here's this beautifully thing that they're gonna get within a first week of signing up. If they switch to Leader, which is like our next plan, then they get a, wow, you switched to Leader, like a physical newsletter. We're gamifying the entire platform right now, where the more you use the platform, the higher your points go. Once you get to certain levels, we literally ship a physical box with custom goods, like custom camp wooden goods that goes out to these different people. We spent $50,000 on this initiative between setting up the gamification and getting the stuff to send out. Why am I willing to spend $50,000 on some stuff to send people? Because I think it's that valuable. I really do. It's an inexpensive way to get in front of your prospects every single month. Definitely lean on creativity. Those that succeed with direct mail are consistent and find creative ways to stand out. Every single prospect you've ever had every past or lost client, people you meet in person, anyone on your Dream 100 list, they should all be receiving a physical thing from you every single month. And here's the best part. Anyone that's worried about this, there's tools like Stamp now, STANP.com. It'll send it on your behalf. You just upload the design, you upload the contact list, and you schedule it out. If you have new contacts that need to be on that list, you just upload the new list and you send it out. It makes it so easy. So if you're gonna do direct mail, make sure you're not like stamping a thing and going to the post office and like sending it. That's not sustainable. At this budget rate, when you have somebody, then it can be sustainable. So on this one, there's 4 tactics that we can even add in at the 1 to 3. We're only gonna pick 2. Don't do all 4. I'm telling you, if you say like, I'm gonna do all 4, you're gonna do it for a couple months, then you're gonna bail. So we're gonna pick 2. So that means if we're at the $0 to $3,000 range, we have part-time help and we're doing 5 things. So the $3,000 to $5,000 range, at this stage onwards, you will be requesting what's called MDF, Marketing Development Funds. Don't worry, there's an MDF guide in the link I sent you. How do you request MDFs? How do you get approved? And then we may want to increase that marketing help, that intern or coordinator, from 10 to 20 hours per week, or maybe even full-time at this stage, but then that kind of lowers budget on other things. All right, cool, moving on. Lunch and learns. Don't worry, I have an event guide. How should you do lunch and learns like this? This is a lunch and learn. Like they just, Paco and Rick just did this lunch and learn. We're all here right now. This is great. We all get to meet each other. We all get to vibe with each other. You guys just got closer to MSP Unplugged through all this. Like, lunch and learns are gold. And it doesn't have to be exclusively technology related. So getting back to that question, at one point we were bringing clients in to speak on their expertise, like marketing. We had a physical therapist come in and we did a back and backup health. Right? So they talked about the back, we did some stretches and stuff, and then we talked about StorageCraft, which was a stupid idea. All right, moving on. All right, the key piece is to always invite your clients. So back to like, you can't hide who's not in a room like you can on webinars. So like, always invite your clients because it guarantees you're gonna have like 10 to 20 people in the room. And then like, if we get 4 to 5 prospects, even better because they're talking to your clients. Spotlight interesting takes. Okay, so like the time we brought in an FBI agent to come in and explain the latest threats facing businesses. So we found like this top cyber FBI agent. That was easy to market, right? Video marketing. Video is and will always be like, why did I hire Che? Why did I hire Che? One, he's a legend. He did ScaleCon, our big event. But I brought him out because it's like video content has been, is, and will be gold for many years to come. If we're gonna do it, we gotta do it right. We gotta be willing to invest in Chase. We gotta be willing to invest in doing video marketing the right way. It holds attention, you can communicate more information, and it builds loyalty to your brand. Alex Hormozy is one of the most listened to creators on the planet. He doesn't know anything about me. I went to Vegas last year for a scaling workshop. He went up on the stage, I was like, oh, there's Alex. I felt like I know him. That's one of the powers of video marketing. Like if you can have a face in your local market with engaging video content, people are gonna know, like, and trust you more and more. All right, Opus clips, captions, or outsource editing are great ways to personalize your content and make it stand out more, right? So like I'll have like a talking head. So how do we take like potentially like a good video with a good point and make it where like more people care about it? We do need to add the captions in. We do need to add the things in, right? It significantly increases the engagement. So like I go kind of the next, you do not have to do this. I kind of take it to the next step because again, I'm obsessed with video, like right? Billboard. So we do like this whole like cartoon.
Remarketing is like, it's like a billboard. Remarketing is not necessarily going to be something where you see a ton of conversions come in from those ads because very few MSP prospects are going to click the ad on Facebook or Google or LinkedIn and then fill out the contact form. That's not necessarily what we're trying to do with remarketing in the MSP space. What I'm trying to do is pay whatever, it's like $500 a month. It's like nothing to stay in front of that prospect that landed on but then they left. Well, guess what? Over the next month or 2 months, they're going to get angry again with their current IT provider. And if you're the one that every day they've been seeing on Facebook and on Google and on YouTube and on LinkedIn, you're going to be the one that they go to. That's kind of how it works.
Yeah, you change the step from them Googling IT providers in my area to Googling directly to your page, which completely flips it around.
So if I just made that point on video, it'd be a good video. It'd be fine. And like it would have gotten a decent reach. But because we went through the added effort, and again, if this is only one of a few things you're doing, you can put that added effort in, and now you have a marketing assistant. Like, let's just put that added effort in. It's going to significantly increase our engagement and leads if we do it that way instead of just like talking head. But start with a talking head, work your way to something a little more complicated like that. So that's not a tool. So I have a full-time like motion graphic artist because I'm obsessed with motion graphic videos. So some of this stuff is free. Like if you do video as your one for level 3, there's no real extra money in that. So, but you're at another spend level, which means great, I get to just spend more money on the other tactics I've already been doing. I've already found success with them, which is why I'm on the new level. Now I have a larger budget I can put back into those other things, like more direct mail or more marketing help. So it doesn't necessarily mean that each of these new things are going to cost more money, but it might cost more time.
What are your thoughts of like getting a Zoom Info account or going out and finding better contacts? You know, as we're scouring the internet and doing canvassing on Google for these doctors and professionals,
Yep.
do you want to go to a Zoom Info?
Excellent question, and that's why we're sticking tactical and budget, because what happens is if one of your tactics was email marketing or cold calling, you're going to find maybe I'm having a list problem to hit my KPI. But I have gotten an ROI on it. I'm now at a $3,000 to $5,000 a month spend, so I have an extra $1,000 a month here that I can spend. Do I want to put that into Zoom Info, or do I want to put that into a video editor? Like now that you've got an ROI in your marketing, you get to dictate those decisions based on your spend. So that's why like I haven't technically been going too much into tools, because as long as we have the tactic we're doing, we know our person, we know the tactic we're doing and how much we're willing to spend, then we start allocating resources based on to hit our KPIs. Cool. So this one is easy. So the KPIs, good call. KPIs, lunch and learn, we're going to do one a month. Doesn't necessarily have to be a lunch and learn, but we're going to do one event a month, which is why you need help at this point. Like you just have to have somebody at your business, whether it's an intern or coordinator or whatever it is, to actually help do these things. Cool. And then video marketing, the KPI for that is 2 new videos per week. That's why we can choose one or the other. So at this point, if we're spending $5,000 a month, we're only doing 6 things. That should keep things real simple. We might change whether we're using AI within these 6 things. We might change what tools we're using to help succeed with these 6 things, but we're doing 6 things. At MSP Camp, we do podcast, YouTube, SEO, Meta and Instagram advertising, speaking events, and email. We do 6 things, and we've grown from 0 to 2 million in like 2 years. All right, now we're getting to a bigger budget level, 5 to 10,000. You'll be amazed at how few things change because we already have a system that's working. Maybe we just put more money into that system. All right, so prerequisites, you should 100% have a part-time or full-time marketing coordinator at this spend. If you're spending $5,000 to $10,000 a month in your marketing because you got an ROI and everything else, you already know you want to do this. I don't have to tell you to do this. You already know the value of having someone in-house and executing on all of these things, right? All right, cool. So that's a prerequisite. Like we just literally have to at this point. So yeah, some of your budget is going to be caught up. You will almost certainly have specialized agencies or specialized freelancers at this point helping with one or more of your initiatives. So let me give you an example of that real quick. I've been running Meta ads, Facebook and Instagram for my own company now for about 1.5 years. It's been going really well. It's been going great, but I'm getting busier. I've got a big company, not a big company, a small company, but I'm trying to make bigger. And so like, I've just gotten to the point where I'm like, you know what, if I've been able to succeed with this, it's time for me to offload to somebody that is just a specialist in this one thing. I'm not gonna outsource my marketing. I'm not gonna find a marketing company to do marketing for MSP Camp. That would never work. But I know I have one specific thing that I'm already succeeding in. I know the ins and outs of it, and I just need somebody else to do it better than me, or at least take it off my plate. Because I know the ROI of that one activity and how much it makes me, I can quickly extrapolate how much more I can make if I get someone that's even better than me at it. So I personally pay, not personally, the company pays $2,500 a month for someone to run a single tactic within MSP Camp that does not include ad spend. So I'm spending $10,000 a month on this one tactic. Why? Because I've got a massive return on it already. Like I've had 1.5 years of return. My return's insane on it. Great, let's take it to the next level. I have no problem spending $10,000 a month because of the return I've already got. Does that make sense? So y'all are gonna find the same thing. You're gonna find, oh wait, like I'm doing well with cold calling. I'm setting appointments with cold calling and that's working for me. And then I have this like system that helps close it over time. Like maybe I like specialize, maybe I like cut this tactic out and I outsource it. So those are two prerequisites. You're almost definitely gonna have part-time or full-time help within your marketing, and you're gonna start having specialized agencies or specialized freelancers to start taking some of these things off your plate because you've already done it and you know it works. All right, let me see. So there's only two things at this level. Literally, we're going to expand cold call. If you're doing $5,000 to $10,000 a month, honestly, at this rate, we're a B2B business. We have a budget now. We need to be doing cold calling. Like we either need to have a caller or we need to outsource cold calling because it's 100% effective in the MSP space. Or next, we're going to expand advertising efforts. We're going to do one of the two. We are not going to do both. If we're at $5,000 to $10,000 a month, we really should not do both, right? That's it. Those are the two that we need to choose from. Cold calling, at this point, you've already had a large enough ROI on your marketing. You can have a full-time caller, part-time caller. The marketing machine makes it easier to set appointments and it makes it easier to close. So as you guys know, a cold calling lead is not as exciting as like an inbound lead. It's just not. It's not as exciting as a referral. Like they're way harder. Like you need 10 of those for every 3 website leads to close, right? Cold calling leads are significantly harder to close than almost anything else we've talked about. They're just harder, but it's constant appointments. But if you already have a marketing machine that does webinars and has email marketing going and all these other things that you've been doing, retargeting, cool. You're at a significant advantage to close those cold leads than any other MSP in your market. That's why we do all this prerequisites before we double down on cold. Does that make sense? Sorry, this is another one that I didn't put the KPI on. The KPI is 1 appointment a week. So if we're not getting 1 appointment a week, like if we have a full-time caller and we're not getting 1 appointment a week, something is broken. It could be the scripts, it could be your caller needs training, it could be the system you're using, it could be the list that you're using, but if you're not getting 1, that's why it's the KPI. Because again, if we have that KPI, we'll work backwards to fix the issue till we hit the KPI. It's way too big of an investment not to get at least 1 appointment a week, typically. Because again, maybe 1 out of every like 6 to 8 are gonna close. Or, because we're spending $5,000 to $10,000 a month now, we're gonna expand our advertising efforts. Where it's like, okay, we've been doing retargeting advertising, we've kind of dipped our toe in advertising, but we've had a large enough ROI in marketing at this point that we're willing to invest heavier in advertising and give it some time to breathe. Because oftentimes what happens when advertising in the MSP space is we try something for 3 months, it didn't work, we stop doing it, and says advertising doesn't work in the MSP space. I did advertising for Alltech for years, but also, again, thinking from my own experience as a business owner, I ran meta ads. I was spending $3,000 a month, every month when we were a lot smaller than we are today, just burning money, not getting a single conversion. I was like, I know content, I know my people are on Facebook. I know MSPs are on Facebook. I'm like, I month after month, I'm just burning $3,000 a month. I was just like, what? Like something's wrong. I didn't give up. Kept tweaking, kept changing, figured out the right targeting, figured out what content works. Apparently it's just a video that Rick loves, me walking around the office. And now it's 30 to 40% of our growth, right? It's because it's like, okay, cool. I have enough ROI on what I've been doing to continue to invest in this thing and find what's actually gonna work. At this point, we're on the hill, y'all. Like we have gone through the trenches, we figured out what's working right, we're making a lot of money, we have a big marketing budget that we are happy. That's one of the best things about marketing is when you get to a point where you are happy to spend money on marketing because you know what comes next. So what happens at this stage? LOL, you don't need to tell me what to do next. You don't need me to tell you what to do next. You know who to outsource to, you know your team, like you are good. What we did is we had a dedicated marketing manager, we had a part-time caller, we split it with someone in our peer group, we had a part-time videographer, again, we really doubled down on video marketing, monthly webinars, highly produced newsletter, weekly emails, monthly direct mail. We did big projects like a Smash-a-thon, and we did a calendar of the techs, networking events, retargeting ads, meta ads, Google ads, right? This was our mix at this stage. And that seems overwhelming because there's so much shit, but it's great because I had a full-time marketing manager. It's actually not that much for some 40-hour-a-week person. All right, cool. Wrap up. The more we can invest in marketing, the more we win. The problem is we have to earn our spend. Anyone can spend a bunch of money, but without the due diligence, it's extremely easy to blow a ton of money without results, which is why we need to make sure we get an ROI before we step up our marketing budget. The baby steps covered today keep your marketing sustainable and give you confidence to continue to improve. So a lot of the workshop has kind of been happening as we've been doing it. Make sure you write those things down. As a reminder, 0 to 1,000, these are the tactics, these are our KPIs. Choose 3. 1,000 to 3,000, these are the tactics, these are the KPIs, choose 2. 3,000, 5,000, these are the tactics, those are the KPIs, choose 1. 5,000, 2,000, these are the tactics, these are the KPIs, choose 1. Okay, cool. All right, so we are gonna do this one. you are going to find an accountability buddy or two. Like if there's like an odd man out here, it could be 3 people in your accountability buddy. Y'all need to just find somebody that you're going to follow up with once per week, even if it's for 10 minutes, to say, what does your marketing plan look like based on what we checked? What are those tactics? Who's your target market? Are you hitting those KPIs or not? We're going to hold each other accountable for the rest of the year. If you do that, the chances of success are going to go up significantly. It's one thing to say you're going to do it. It's another thing to say it to somebody else that you're going to do it.